Hello and welcome everybody to another episode of Books in Bytes. Today, we're diving deep into a book that's become a modern classic in science fiction, The Three-Body Problem by Cixin Liu.
Oh, yeah. It's a book that's really captured the imagination of readers worldwide. And for good reason. It's not just your typical alien invasion story. It really delves into these profound questions about humanity's place in the universe, the nature of science,
Yeah.
and the choices we make in the face of the unknown.
Right from the beginning, you're kind of thrown into this world where the lines between scientific reality and political turmoil are really blurred. You have the backdrop of the Cultural Revolution in China, which plays a huge role in shaping the events of the story.
Absolutely. And that's one of the things that makes the three-body problem so unique. It's deeply rooted in Chinese history and culture. It offers a perspective that you don't often see in Western science fiction.
So before we get into the details, could you give us a quick overview of the main themes and the overall story arc, just to set the stage for our deep dive?
Sure. At its core, the three-body problem is about humanity's first contact with an alien civilization, the Trisolarans. But it's also a story about the choices we make, both individually and as a species. When we're faced with these existential threats, Liu explores the impact of historical trauma on scientific progress, the dangers of unchecked technological advancement, and the potential consequences of our actions on a cosmic scale.
Wow, that's quite a lot to unpack. It sounds like Lou is weaving together some really complex ideas.
He definitely is, and he does it masterfully. The story unfolds across multiple timelines and perspectives, jumping between the human and Trisolaran points of view. This allows him to build suspense, explore the motivations of both sides, and ultimately challenge our assumptions about who we are and our place in the universe.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning. The book opens during the tumultuous years of the Cultural Revolution in China. We're introduced to Ye Wenji, a young astrophysicist who witnesses something truly horrific, the death of her father at the hands of Red Guards.
Yeah, this event is pivotal. It shapes Yi Wenji's entire worldview, leaving her deeply disillusioned with humanity and searching for meaning elsewhere. She's eventually sent to a labor camp, where she becomes involved in a top-secret military project called Red Coast.
And this is where things start to get really interesting. Yi Wenji, using her knowledge of astrophysics, discovers a way to amplify radio signals using the sun, potentially reaching civilizations light years away.
Driven by a massive despair and a longing for connection beyond the horrors she's witnessed, Yi Wenji makes a fateful decision. She sends a message into space, unknowingly initiating first contact with the Trisolarans.
Wow, talk about consequences. This one act sets off a chain of events that will forever alter the course of human history.
And this is just the beginning. Liu then jumps forward in time, introducing us to Wang Miao, a nanomaterials researcher in present-day China. Strange phenomena start happening around the world. Physicists are committing suicide. Scientific research is hitting dead ends. And there's this growing sense of unease, like something is fundamentally wrong with the laws of physics.
It's a brilliant way to build suspense. You have this sense of impending doom, but you're not quite sure where it's coming from.
Exactly. And this is where the online game Three Body comes into play. Wang Miao is drawn into this mysterious game, which simulates the harsh and chaotic environment of the Trisolaran homeworld.
This game is more than just entertainment, right? It seems to be a way for Luz to introduce us to the history and motivations of the Trisolarans.
Absolutely. Within the game, players have to navigate the unpredictable movements of the Trisolaran suns. They face scorching heat, devastating cold, and the constant threat of extinction. Through this, Wang Miao begins to understand the desperation of the Trisolaran civilization and their desperate search for a new home.
It's like a virtual window into their world, their struggles, and their ultimate goal to escape their dying planet and find refuge on Earth.
And it's not just about survival. The game also introduces the concept of dehydration, a process the Trisolarans use to survive the harshest eras of their planet's chaotic climate. They essentially dehydrate their bodies, becoming like brittle leaves, and then rehydrate when conditions become favorable again.
That's both fascinating and disturbing. It really highlights how different their biology and their perception of reality must be compared to our own.
This difference is key. It underscores the vast gulf between human and Trisolaran civilizations, setting the stage for the conflicts and misunderstandings that unfold throughout the book.
So it almost feels like she becomes this tragic figure, this symbol of both hope and despair. And as the story unfolds, we really see how her past traumas and her longing for something beyond humanity have shaped her actions, and ultimately the fate of Earth.
Yeah, definitely.
You mentioned earlier that the book jumps between the human and Trisolaran perspectives. I'm really curious to hear more about how Liu portrays the Trisolarans. What are they like? What motivates them?
Well, Liu does an amazing job of creating a truly alien civilization. The Trisolarans are not simply humans in different costumes. You know, their biology, their culture, their entire way of thinking. It's shaped by the harsh realities of their home world.
Right. And we get a glimpse of that through the three-body game, with their ability to dehydrate and rehydrate themselves. But what about their society? Their
Yeah,
values?
they're portrayed as a highly rational and pragmatic species,
Yeah.
driven by the need for survival above all else. Their history is marked by cycles of devastation and near extinction, due to the chaotic movements of their three sons. And this has led them to develop a very different set of ethics and morals than what we might consider human.
So it's not as simple as good versus evil.
Exactly. Liu challenges those easy categorizations. The Trizorans aren't necessarily malicious or cruel, they're simply acting in a way that ensures their own survival, even if it means sacrificing other civilizations. They see humanity as a potential threat, a competitor for resources in a vast and unforgiving universe.
Right. It's like that chilling line from the book. The universe is a dark forest. Every civilization is an armed hunter stalking through the trees like a ghost, gently pushing aside branches that block the path and trying to tread without sound. Even breathing is done with care.
Yeah, that passage perfectly captures the Trisolaran worldview. They believe that any civilization that reveals its presence risks being destroyed by others. It's a bleak and cynical outlook, but one shaped by their own experiences of hardship and struggle.
It makes you question our own assumptions about alien life. We often imagine benevolent, advanced beings coming to share their knowledge. But what if they're driven by the same basic instincts as us? Survival, competition, fear.
And this is where the concept of the sophins comes into play. These are subatomic particles that the Trisolarans have sent to Earth. They're essentially supercomputers packed into the space of a proton, capable of manipulating matter and disrupting scientific experiments.
Wait, so they're messing with our science?
It's a way for them to cripple our technological progress and ensure their dominance when they arrive. By sabotaging our ability to make breakthroughs in fields like high-energy physics, they're effectively disarming us before the war even begins.
That's devious. It's like a technological virus, infecting the very core of our scientific understanding.
And it's a brilliant strategy. It plays on our own hubris, our belief that science will always lead us to progress and solutions. The Trisolarans exploit this, using our own curiosity against us.
It makes you wonder if we're really as advanced as we think we are. We're so focused on our own technological achievements that we might be blind to the dangers lurking in the shadows of the universe.
That's one of the central themes that Liu explores in the three-body problem. He challenges our anthropocentric view of the universe, forcing us to confront the possibility that we're not the only intelligent life out there, and we might not be the most advanced.
It's a humbling thought, to say the least. So we've got the ETO on Earth, divided in their response to the Trisolarans, and we've got the Trisolarans themselves preparing for their arrival. What happens next? How does this conflict play out?
Well, things get even more complex. As the Trisolaran fleet gets closer to Earth, tensions rise. The ETO becomes more active, with some factions resorting to violence and sabotage to further their goals.
Right. There's that intense scene where they use a weapon made of nanofilaments, the guzheng, to slice through a ship in the Panama Canal. It's a brutal display of technological power.
That scene is crucial. It highlights the destructive potential of advanced technology, even when used by humans. It also foreshadows the devastating consequences of the coming conflict.
And amidst all of this chaos, we get glimpses into the lives of ordinary people caught in the crossfire. There's this one character, Wei Cheng, who becomes obsessed with solving the three-body problem. The mathematical problem of predicting the movements of three celestial bodies under their mutual gravitational pull.
His story is fascinating. He's a former mathematician who has retreated from the world, disillusioned by its complexities. He sees the three-body problem as a way to find order in a chaotic universe.
But it's more than just a mathematical puzzle for him, isn't it? It's a metaphor for the larger challenges facing humanity.
Exactly. Wei Cheng's struggles mirror the struggles of humanity as a whole. We're trying to make sense of a universe that seems increasingly chaotic and unpredictable. We're searching for solutions to problems that might be beyond our comprehension.
And just like Wei Cheng's attempts to solve the three-body problem are ultimately futile, perhaps our own attempts to control our destiny in the face of cosmic forces are equally naive.
That's a thought-provoking interpretation. Liu doesn't offer easy answers. He leaves us to grapple with these questions, to confront the limits of our own understanding and the humbling realization that we might not be the masters of our own fate.
So with the Trisolaran fleet approaching, and humanity seemingly on the brink of disaster, How does the three-body problem end? Does Liu offer any hope for our species?
Yeah.
Feels like we're right on the edge of a cliffhanger here. Does humanity find a way to fight back? Or are we doomed to become, well, like those turkeys on Thanksgiving?
Oh, that's one of the most powerful metaphors in the book, isn't it? The idea that we might be completely oblivious to the forces that are about to upend our world. And as for hope, well, the three-body problem ends on a rather ambiguous note.
Don't leave me hanging. What happens? I need closure.
Well, the Trisolaran fleet is still centuries away from reaching Earth, but their influence is already being felt. Humanity is fractured, divided between those who welcome the Trisolarans and those who fear them.
Right. It's almost as if the true invasion has already begun. But it's an invasion of ideas, of doubt, of fear. It's eating away at our sense of unity and purpose.
Exactly. And this is where Liu's genius shines through. He doesn't just give us a simple alien invasion story. He forces us to confront the complexities of our own nature, our capacity for both hope and despair, for cooperation and conflict.
So while there's no clear victory or defeat at the end of the three-body problem, there's this lingering sense of unease, this realization that the arrival of the Trisolaran fleet is only the beginning of a much longer, much more challenging journey for humanity.
And it raises so many questions. Can humanity overcome its internal divisions and find a way to unite against this common threat? Can we adapt and evolve to survive in a universe that seems increasingly hostile? Or are we destined to become another footnote in cosmic history?
Those are some heavy questions. It makes you wonder what you would do if you knew an alien civilization was on its way to Earth. Would you fight? Would you try to make contact? Or would you just resign yourself to whatever fate had in store?
That's the power of Liu's writing. It's not just science fiction. It's a mirror reflecting our own anxieties, our hopes, and our fears about the future. It forces us to confront the big questions, the ones we often try to avoid in our day-to-day lives.
I think that's what makes the three-body problem so captivating. It's a thrilling adventure, yes, but it's also a profound meditation on what it means to be human in a vast and often indifferent universe.
It's a book that stays with you long after you finish reading it. It challenges your assumptions, expands your perspective, and leaves you with a sense of wonder and perhaps a touch of existential dread. But most importantly, it reminds us that even in the face of overwhelming odds, the human spirit, our capacity for resilience, innovation, and hope, should never be underestimated.
On that note, I think it's time to wrap up our deep dive into the three-body problem. We've explored the complex themes, the memorable characters, and the thought-provoking questions that make this book a modern classic. And if you're intrigued by what we've discussed today, I highly encourage you to pick up the book and embark on your own journey into Liu Cixin's incredible world.
And remember, this is just the first book in a trilogy. There's so much more to explore, so many more twists and turns, and so many more profound insights into the nature of humanity and our place in the cosmos.
So until next time, keep those minds open, keep questioning, and keep exploring the infinite possibilities of the universe. And who knows, maybe one day we'll have our own first contact story to tell.